like to call the meeting to order. Linda, you'll have roll call.
Mayor Crane.
Here.
Councilmember Saul.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Sayer.
Here.
Smith. Here. Tanner.
Here.
Attorney Powell.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I'd like to add a correction. I know it keeps going each meeting, but all the council members, you get a copy of it, read the start of it, the meeting doesn't make sense, the way it's written. Joe made a comment to me, if you keep this up, you're going to be the ruination of this town. I would like that added to the minutes.
Is that all, Josh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just wanna say I'm not gonna put up with any more disrespect from anybody. We'll correct things, but we've had too much disrespect the last few meetings. So we might as well get it straight right now.
Well, my question is, are we gonna record what is actually at the meeting, what is actually said at the meeting? And what I get from Josh, it
It's been recorded.
wasn't put in the minutes,
They've been recorded.
but I know, but I mean the copy that we get.
I gave all of you how minutes are kept, what is expected in a meeting.
But Brad, that's you dictating what you
No,
believe needs to be
no,
put in the minutes.
no.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
It's up to
you
this
look-
council and the recorder.
you look at
It's what's
Robert's-
put in the minutes. That's the whole reason you come back to us as a council to approve those
I'm not
minutes.
gonna argue with you anymore. You
It's
can
not
look-
an argument,
Look
it's
at
a
Robert,
fact.
get a copy of Robert's Rule of
And it's
Order.
not what you put down. You can't dictate what's put into those minutes.
Okay.
That's my only question.
Okay.
You know, when we get a copy after
Yeah.
Linda sends us a copy of the
Yeah.
minutes, actually what goes on in that meeting here and what is said by each individual in that meeting, has got to be, it's supposed to be in those minutes.
No,
Yes,
they
it
don't,
is.
no, you're talking about a transcript. If you take everything that people say, Patty, how's the county council keep their minutes?
It's just, basically it's bullet points of important topics. It might be said, discussion held, but they record. And so if anybody wants to know specifically what was said, then they go in and can listen to
Right.
Oh,
recording.
the
So,
recorder.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
And I think our meeting was recorded. The last 4 meetings have been recorded,
Except the special one.
except the special one.
Yeah, well, this special one, all it pertained to was the, ordinance that we had, wasn't
Buying a fire truck.
Buying a fire truck
it? Buying the fire truck.
and hiring a police officer.
Right, that's the one thing.
And Kathy, that was advertised. Anybody is welcome to come to a meeting, okay?
But I didn't see it advertised.
It was advertised at the post office,
And at the courthouse.
at the courthouse.
I just
Website.
think special
Here.
meeting, you guys need to put no other people, or, you know, like an executive meeting or something.
We don't have executive meetings.
Well,
We've never had one. All of them are open to the public.
well, you told me I needed to leave.
What?
You said you weren't gonna discuss anything with me.
I didn't tell you you needed to leave. What are you talking about?
That last special meeting, that's why I left.
We weren't discussing anything except those 2 items.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay,
That's the first one I went to. You should've, sorry.
okay.
You were
Sorry,
asked to
bud.
leave.
No, she wasn't asked to leave, Josh, and if you'd been here, you'd have known that.
Yeah, I work for a living and don't get off after 4 o'clock.
Okay.
You announce it 24 hours before. I get a call Friday
It wasn't
at 3:30.
24. It wasn't 24 hours.
There's gonna be a meeting on Tuesday at 4 o'clock.
Clint, what do you have?
Have you guys had a chance to look at the rate schedules I give you?
Yes, I did.
I think our rates are in line, but where we're falling behind is the customer service charges. And if anybody's got a gas bill, phone bill, you know, everybody's applying a customer service charge to it. I think we really need to look at that. I'd like to look at the, rate schedule I give you all from Crawfordsville. I think that would be a fair fair way to go with it, which would be $15 for a residential customer. $30 for like a single phase, business. And it'd be a $60 charge for a three-phase bill.
Where will that put us at compared to what we're losing?
That would put us back real close to where we need to be. Like I said, we're not trying to make gross amounts of profit being a nonprofit business, but we've still gotta make enough money to buy the materials, you know, to keep the daily operations running.
Well, I came in and talked to the girls about, you know, where we're at on our rates that people are paying on electricity. We're fine there. Where we're behind at is probably the wages, insurance, et cetera, for employees is where we're at there. Now, going by what IMPA charges us and what we charge our customers, we're apparently pretty close to what staying even there, and those are,
On the rate wise,
yeah, rate wise.
Our rates are, I mean, we're a little behind on the rates, but I think with the customer service charge, it's gonna put us back into the black, cause last year we actually lost money. We were taking money out of our reserves.
We've only had 2 raises in 23 years.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's been,
Mine happened this month, it's $485, so.
Mine was too, Butch.
It's like,
but
you know,
that-
we're talking about an increase on top of that, it's
That's
just,
the
it's kinda
cost,
scary.
that's the cost of electricity, you know.
So you're talking about raising rates as coming into next year, then every 10 years, the last rate increase was 2013, so therefore we're gonna reassess it for the 10th year being next year, raise the rate, is that what proposed?
He's proposing just to put a customer service charge on.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's done.
I'm talking about leaving the rates alone.
No, not raise the rates.
But the rate is, I mean, you do have in the proposal from IMPA to do a study of rate increase. So, I mean, that's my concern, I would prefer one or the other. I mean, if we're gonna raise the rates, then we shouldn't be adding a surcharge. So,
Like I said, our rates are comparable.
Yeah,
I mean,
with
if you sit there-
with what you handed out to us,
uh,
one of the proposals is to go through and do a rate assessment. $15,000 to pay IMPA to come in, do a rate assessment,
that was
determine the
part of the
rates.
discussion, yes, that was part of the.
So I'm just saying, if we're gonna do that,
I mean,
I mean,
this
we need to do one or the other.
That's why I put it in front of you guys,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we're better off to do the customer service charge that everybody has on, and because they may say we need to put, you know, raise the rates, and I'd rather not raise the rates.
I agree, I'm just saying, I don't think we need to do both to the
Oh,
citizens.
no, no,
Because then that's,
no, that was
I'm
not a
misunderstanding what you're
question.
So that's like a flat $15 a month is what,
yes,
I'm sorry, I'm
yes,
kinda hard of hearing.
yes, that's what.
And not raise the rates.
Not raise rates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the reason I asked about the service charge on, you know, if the service charge is gonna put us to where we're back close to in the black or making us even or whatever, we don't wanna have to turn around in 2 or 3 years and have to do a rate adjustment, you know?
But I'd rather get us back to the black, and then if we fall behind, you know, I don't wanna make them pay, you know, that and higher rates.
And a higher
Right.
rate, that's, I don't wanna see that.
And that's why we've only raised them twice in 23 years is,
Well, we haven't needed to, because, I mean, we're staying pretty even as far as our rate for
Well,
now.
I mean, it's just like an older transformer, I got 4 transformers in the other day. I was paying $1,400 a piece for them, they're now $2,900 a piece. I mean, we just can't, it's just, it's starting to snowball now.
yeah.
And we've got bigger projects that we're gonna have to look into.
Okay. We're not gonna vote on that this
No, I
month
just
anyway.
wondered if you guys.
He's
know,
just
it's
bringing it
Well,
up.
we need to do it and get it ready. If we're gonna do it, we need to get it ready for the first of the year
Yeah.
next year,
Yeah,
you know.
okay, I'm gonna skip you guys for right now. Trudy and Susan, Trudy Dillon and Susan Fisher.
Hi, we're with the Dorothy Q chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Our chapter is in Montgomery County because there's no longer a chapter in Fountain County, and we've combined sources. So we all go from Fountain County to Montgomery County. And as you know, the Daughters of the American Revolution have a long history of promoting military, their veterans, supporting them and giving back to the communities. Well, we've started a project, it's already kicked off across the county line, and military banners for many of the towns are gonna be going up for Veterans Day of 2022. Lebanon, Brownsburg, Danville, Plainfield, Pittsburgh, Clayton, and Crawfordsville have already approved the project that we're gonna talk about this evening. And we've already presented to Petersburg, and they jumped on board, but for Fountain County, we'll be kicking off Veterans Day, November 2023 instead of 2022. So these banners that we're talking about, I'm gonna show you a picture of them. You can pass it down the line so you can see. They look like this, and they honor veterans in our area, or your parents or whatever. You can pass that down so everybody can see it, please. And the banners can be up to 30 by 65 inches. We have a printer in Brownsburg who makes these banners. The cost to the towns is putting some brackets that will hold banners top and bottom. And I realize here in Covington, I think you have like 110 brackets that hold the flags, and you don't really have the ones that hold banners. And I understand 110 is a lot to ask for, but we were hoping that maybe the town would agree to put some brackets on a few of the poles for this project. And the people such as myself, my father was a World War II veteran. If I wanted a banner of my father, I would apply to the Daughters of the American Revolution and send it to Susan, or to her. I'm also on the committee. And the banners this year were $125. That's the cost to me. And it would have my dad's picture on it. He was in the United States Navy. He served during World War II. That was what would be on his banner. Had he been killed in action, he would also have had a star. If they were not serving during a conflict, it just merely has, their branch of service. No conflict, of course, would be listed. The $125 is the cost of the banner, and then a small proceed will go to the Daughters of the American Revolution. Of course, they give back to the community, supporting your veterans in other projects. The banners, we want them to hang up for one full year. So they would be up November 23 to November 24, however many brackets the town might decide to put up to support our project. The other cost to the town, of course, is the manpower to put the banners up and down. But when the program's over, the 1 year period is over, then the banners come back down, and the family gets the banner. They also get their original photo back that they had submitted. When the applications are submitted with an original photo of the soldier in uniform, we pick those up. They're given to either Susan or I. We take them to the printer. We pick up the banners. We bring them to the town. So the town itself just has the brackets and the manpower going up and down. The people actually, once we do a press release, Susan and I are going to all the different towns and presenting this same thing. Sorry, I'm nervous, there's a lot of people here. Don't have an asthma attack. Once we get the press release, then I think it's gonna go crazy and the applications will start rolling in. So say Petersburg committed 30 polls. And the first 30 applications that apply to Petersburg, those are the banners that will go up in 2023. If there's 60 people, the next year 30 more banners will go up. If I want my dad up for 2 years in a row, I'm gonna have to get a second banner for the second year because the design is gonna change annually. So, did I miss anything? Tried to touch on all that. We don't wanna do a press release. We're gonna use social media, Fountain County Neighbor, probably Crawfordsville, but we don't wanna do a press release until we throw this out to you guys so that you can be thinking about it. Because when we do the press release, we wanna be able to say what towns are gonna commit to this, so they'll know where their banner might hang. So, I just really I'd like to leave you with a packet this evening. that talks a little bit about the program in more detail. And if you would just please take it under consideration to possibly put some brackets. It's my understanding that your brackets were special made by J.B. Conrad, so they were powder coated to protect the poles. So I understand you might wanna do something like that again. We can make them any size.
Do
And
you provide the applications for the people?
yes,
that would-
the applications, the people, when the press release comes out, it will tell them who to contact. And the town has no involvement with that. They will send these applications, actually, we'll probably have them delivered, we'll meet them like at the library or something, so they can hand us off that precious original photo of their soldier. And we will keep that in a binder with their application, and when the banner comes down and we give it back to them, we'll give them back their original photo. We will hand deliver it to them.
Now, when they fill out these applications, do you contact like the city and say, well, I need 25 or I need 30
Well,
banner folders, you know, for a folder?
correct me if I'm wrong, I believe most of the towns committed a certain number of poles. In Crawfordsville, they started out with 27 poles, and they expanded it to 30. Petersburg, at their town board meeting last month, they committed 30 poles. In their situation, they use their brackets also for their Christmas decorations. So they're gonna actually take them down for a brief time during Christmas, then put them right back up.
Yeah.
So they'll be down for a month. But, we can make them 30 by 65, I think is maximum. If they're smaller, you don't want them too small. I don't know if you've been through Rockville. They did a program down there, and it was done by the visiting nurses that operate, I believe, out of Clinton. And those banners are awfully small, and they're up high. And I was very distracted in trying to look at those pictures because I think they were too small. But the ones we're looking at, Petersburg's gonna make theirs exactly the same size as the banner and brackets that they currently have up. And then I'm originally from Newtown, before I moved to Covington. And we're having a little more trouble because our poles are Duke Energy. So we have to go through a lot of rigmarole to get our brackets up, and we have to hire an engineer from Duke and have a study done. It's very costly. We're hoping in Newtown to do 10 poles. That's probably about all they can afford because of the brackets. I'm also going to attempt to work with Dale White and Community Foundation to see if there might be some help in offsetting the cost, especially for the smaller towns that do not have the funds available to them, like the bigger towns do. But we'll see how that goes, and there may not be any. And I know they wouldn't fund the project completely, but I am willing to attempt to write a grant to get some assistance if necessary. So I will leave you with this packet. I don't want to take any more of your precious time, but I would be happy to answer any more questions.
Now, is the American flag, you plan on putting them on the same pole with the
They
American
can be,
flag?
because they have banner brackets on the poles. If you would decide to use them, could probably go on the inside. Your flags hang on the outside.
Yeah.
So these could probably, I don't know that they would interfere. I'm not an engineer though, so that might be a question for the utility people. They probably can answer that better than I can. And I understand you've got 110. I know you don't want to commit 110, but I even thought if you wanted to start around the courthouse, maybe just the downtown area or something, or maybe come in from the VA or the Legion building. I assume they'll put the VA back. What was that building? VFW, yeah. So,
Can you, get an idea, you think, put it out on social media, get an idea how many may wanna do it? and
I think
then-
you're gonna be amazed, because I just wanna tell you that I just have briefly mentioned this to a few people, and they're saying, I want one for my dad, I want one for the man who raised me, you know? I've got 3 members of my family, my sister-in-law has 3 sons that were soldiers and her husband, she wants 4 flags in Kingdom. But it's gonna be first come, first served. It won't be, just because I'm on this committee doesn't mean my father's gonna have precedent, you know? We're gonna fill out the application, send it in, and that's how it'll happen. So it would probably be best, in my opinion, if you would commit just a certain number of polls after you discuss it and think about it. And I don't expect you to answer me this evening, but we would like to hear back from you as soon as we can, because we're wanting to get an idea of what communities might participate, who is gonna be able to participate, so that we can get that out to social media.
when we put the article out in the Crawfordsville paper, all 30 banners were sold by the end of the day, along with the 30 for the following year.
bet.
Once they hit the paper, they were gone,
Yeah.
so.
I get goosebumps thinking about it, cause I just know how patriotic our town is,
Yep.
how proud we are of our the displays. I just think it's
How
really
much are these
exciting.
brackets?
Pardon?
How much are these brackets you're talking about?
When I just was Googling it for my own personal, cause I was helping Newtown with their budget, and it looks like they're gonna be about $205 if you went with Banner Savers. That's based on a 30 by 60 inch banner with a pole of 16-inch circumference. That's what I based that on.
So 205 per pole?
About 205. And, you know, Covington is lucky, they have an awesome utility company, the guys can probably put those brackets up. With that. Well, I've lived this for 17 years and I haven't seen too many outages, so I think that's pretty awesome.
Thanks, Trudy.
Thank you very much, I'll leave you with this packet.
Okay.
If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to call Susan or myself.
Okay.
Thank you for allowing us to
Thank
present.
you. Thanks, Susan. Margot, did you have anything? No. Nancy? Jane? Did you have anything? Marty? Butch? Ashley? Oh.
It was close enough.
I coached both of them. Carol?
Petersburg having solar panels put up to help with their electricity, has Covington been included with anything like that?
We could, but that doesn't necessarily help just Petersburg. It's an IMPA project, so, yeah.
So that helps us also, being that we're involved with IPA. Anytime IPA puts in a green field, it's meant to lower their rate, or help adjust their rates. All those projects along 74, all the solar fields you see are, pretty much the IPA's putting those in.
Yep, do that to offset carbon. So, Kathy?
Yeah, and that feller that's talking about transmitter, I don't know what he means, cause ours blew about 30 years ago or whatever, and the poles leaning down like that towards the house and.
Transformer?
Yeah, the whole pole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the transformer's on it.
Okay.
And, let's see. Let's see. Likely it is ready to fall, that's what I wrote. And, about how tall do you want me to cut my yard? Do you want 1 inch, 2 inches? I mean, come on, give me a break. Okay, I wanna tell you how many flowers I have chopped down. I have chopped down cone flowers, pink primrose, yellow primrose, bloom flowers, phlox, orange glory, which is butterweed, milkweed, hibiscus, lilacs, bee balms, recallers, black-eyed Susan, Shasta daisies, obedient plants, speedwell, larkspur, 4 different irises. That was just given.
You have any left?
Not many, and
Well,
everybody at the post
you
office.
understand when we
Everybody
get,
at the post office is not too happy either, and when
Well-
you get, I want an ordinance book, where's this ordinance book? You keep telling me there's an ordinance that says,
there's no ordinance.
There's an ordinance on mowing and weeds.
on what?
It was it's
It's
a.
mowing and
it's a
weeds.
It's a nuisance ordinance. We had complaints, Kathy, that's why you got a letter.
What? Yeah, that's why I'm in here.
Yeah, I
And
know.
that's why I chop down every
And I
plant
told
that
you.
any, I have butterflies, I have walking sticks, I have, if you don't leave the sacks on the
Yeah.
old wood, it's not gonna grow.
Right.
If you don't know anything about flowers, is these
Yeah.
people that's coming around
Yeah.
that know something about flowers at all?
I
Are they?
don't know, I
I
can't tell
wanna
you.
know.
They call in here,
Well,
Linda
I'd
sends
like
a
to
letter.
know.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'll make sure they know.
Okay, wait.
Cliff, you wanna check the transformer pole for one thing, it's the
Yeah,
house
because it's
right
been-
behind the post office.
Yeah,
Yes.
people's been saying stuff for a long time
The
about
one that's
that.
leaning,
Yeah,
there's one leaning that's,
towards my house.
Yeah, that's one that needs changed out per
I figured
IPA
if they just
study.
blew
Right
them,
there in the alley, to the south.
there's a bigger
Yeah.
issue with that. They've gotta figure out what to do with the
Yeah,
with the elevator building.
yeah.
Yeah, cause that one's leaning hard too,
It's all, well, I can't straighten it up right now.
cause of the
It's
alley.
gonna pull it over onto the,
Well, I'm more, upset about my flowers than the transport.
and
Right
do it.
now, that's not a weed. Man, it's.
No, I don't think it was about
And then
flowers.
I talked to the neighbors and none of them had complained about it. And, let's
That's a
see,
lie.
I went all the way
That's
around.
not, that's not what we heard.
Oh, really?
We wouldn't send you a letter.
We don't send
them out.
letters, yeah, I mean, if somebody
Okay,
has to come in
I'd
and
like
make a
to
formal
know.
complaint.
If you guys can know, why can't I?
We're not gonna throw anybody under the bus.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's new. Anyway, that's, plus it really made me sick to have to do all this.
What?
And
What?
it just, the depression and everything that just cutting all my flowers has took
We didn't say you had to cut your
10
flowers
to
down.
12.
We didn't say you had to cut your
Well,
flowers down,
it
and
has
I
to
offered to
slow.
do it. I
I-
said we would help you.
I don't want you in my yard. I do not want you in my yard anymore, Brad.
We were gonna
Train.
cut the grass
I don't,
and mow. I didn't complain.
well,
Hey,
now I
Kathy.
think you did.
I didn't complain.
And it really has depressed me, it's made me sick at my stomach. I've cut and cut and cut, and I think it's kinda nasty that I just get a little letter through here, we're gonna mow your yard, and we're gonna charge you for it, and all this jazz. I'm like, okay, I only
We
live here.
don't do that until we get a complaint.
Well,
And we get complaints and then we have to send the letter.
yeah, like the post office and the guys from the muffler shop, I mean, come on.
I don't think they complain.
I didn't complain at all about them,
Yeah. Okay,
cause they're my buddies.
okay.
So now I know who it is.
Tyler,
I don't have nothing.
Greg,
What do you want me to do with the pool? I've been up to the pool today and starting to store stuff for the winter.
okay.
Where are we at on the water? Are we gonna drain it? We're gonna,
I think we ought to leave it in, like last year.
leave all of it? I've gotta drain that side pit
Sure.
so I can drain all the
Yeah.
plumbing, but,
Yeah. Get
so
it,
shut the main valve off from the
Yeah.
pool
yeah,
and just leave
Yeah.
what's in the pool.
yes.
Okay,
Shut the main valve off, open the drain back so I can drain that,
okay.
yeah.
And then somebody will winterize the
Yeah.
bathhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Chris has got some stuff to get out.
No,
for you.
we'll winterize that. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to know what you wanted me to do with the water.
No, that's fine.
We're good.
Troy, Shane,
I just had the vandalism that's been taking place at work again in the bathrooms. We can figure out how to get those lights taken care of on the front of those, it'd be a good help so we can see at night.
okay?
And then, I know you talked about cameras in the past, I don't know if that's a possibility in that area or not.
It will be next year when we get the internet there.
Right. I mean, we're gonna just start locking them down in
Yeah.
the dark now.
Yes. Yep.
Put a battery operated trail cam or something on it?
They just get destroyed.
Cameras would
If
be
we get it high
ideal.
enough,
Couple cameras in there would be ideal for you guys.
right. I mean, like the vandalism that took place, it happened on the outside, so we could've had at least a clearer view of that,
What's going on?
right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, thanks, guys. Josh?
Question for, I wanted to go back to Clint. Clint, you had given us, I don't know, it seemed like you kinda got cut off there. You had a proposal, the surcharge, but, you had given us this study through IMPA. Is there anything in here that you feel, I mean, there was a couple things that I felt that
There's a couple
needed to
things.
get started years ago.
Yes. One, the big one we got going on right now is the trench closures at the high school, the grade school, and the county market. These.
There's a big one at
does
Fountain
not-
Trust also, right? There's a large change closure
There's a
right there.
trench closure there, but as of right now, their loads are, the transformer bank is ready for their loads. The loads have been continually going up at these other buildings, and there's no room for growth. I've got ideas on how to fix this, but this is not a shut it down, 2 hours later, you got power again, you know? That's gonna be a little bit difficult with the county market. The school, we can try to work with them, on the, when school's out. Some of it we can prep before, but it's just, by the time you get the tear out, new wires pulled, conduit spliced, you're talking days. I mean, but the transclosures is one that I really think we need to look at. The polyphase meter testing, cause we did find some issues with, one of our bigger customers, and we don't know how long it's been that way, cause it's just something you just don't, in fact, I hadn't looked at it for, as long as the meter was working, I hadn't looked at it. So,
I mean, the one that really stuck out to me was the electrical testing and replacement program, and it showed the pictures of those poles. We talked about a couple of those poles from the shell out to the fungus. I mean, eventually storms are gonna come through and knock those down. It's gonna take multiple customers out. Those are definitely things that.
On the pole testing, if we do the pole testing, I'd rather do that split the town up into sections and do one section at a time.
Is that something you guys do, or is that something you bring in like Osmos to come in and?
They'll come in, and once they flag a pole red, it's got to be changed.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, there's a lot going on with this study. I was trying to give you guys some time to look through it, and look at numbers. Another one that's coming up, I don't know, with Jason Stonecipher, I don't know what they're planning as far as grain beds out there.
I talked to Bill had mentioned he'd like to put it at his home, and then I didn't realize until he said that, and then I drove it out, that we do supply him power. He's right at the end of the line.
Yes. So, I mean, we need to figure out how that's gonna work. I know, like Orange Seas and other companies, there's a charge to upgrade the lines out there. So, that's just, we need to get all this figured out.
I just wanted to mention it, cause once you'd given us this, I read through it, and then I went around and reviewed, through town and found it, and I agree with it.
Yeah, a lot of the poles, they've got flagged, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of those. I mean, we can do that.
Broken insulator pin and that, I mean, that's pretty easy.
That's just, we'll
maintenance.
take care of it, that's maintenance. But some of this other stuff, like, line extensions and, daily business keeps us busy.
Yes, sir.
So I don't really know how we're gonna work a lot of this in. And that's another reason why I was talking about the rates. We need to get the rates in place so we have the funding to do this.
And then the other question I had, Brad, on last meeting you said we are not gonna do any street repairs?
We rescinded our money we got because when the consultant made it out, it was in January. When they opened the bids, it was in June. Then, inflation,
Do we lose the grant money that was given to us?
what we did is we don't lose it. We reapplied in August.
Okay.
So we've reapplied, and the other thing was we got money for 3 streets instead of 5. We'd applied for 5, they made a mistake, they only give us money for 3, so, which amounted to about 8 blocks of paving. So we need those 8 blocks, so,
Okay.
we were able to, we'll probably get about $180,000 more money than we got, which is double. So we'll be able to do all of it and cost us a lot less money out of our pocket.
Will that be next year, though? Or
Well,
will that be by the end of this year?
it was submitted before, they submitted it in the first week of August.
Yeah.
It ended the 31st, which was week before last, or last week. So we could know something in the next month,
Okay.
so.
And then the last question I've had 2 gentlemen reach out to me asking about the street superintendent position. Said that they had came in and applied for it and said that they were refused to fill out an app, said there was no opening, no application needed.
We don't, right now, Tyler's doing a good job.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying Tyler's
Yeah.
not doing a good job, but.
I have an application.
Okay. My
And
question, do you know the definition of interim?
Yeah,
What is it?
huh? It's a
They
trial,
were
it's a trial,
temporary.
it's a trial
So
period.
you put him up as a temporary
It's
superintendent.
it's a trial period, and he may, you know, he may be the permanent one.
Well, he may be if he's the only one and nobody else applies for it.
Oh, I've got
I
an
mean,
application.
You're refusing people that come in asking for an application to apply for it, and it's nothing against Tyler, but
No.
it's,
Now, Tony Badger came in and asked, are you hiring a street superintendent? I said, not right now, we're not. So, he could have filled out an application,
right.
so. Yeah, Tyler's doing a good job, everybody's getting along, and it's, you know, it's working out real
My
good.
biggest concern is he's a worker, I've known Tyler for years, but it's experience. And if something would happen
Yeah.
and Tyler doesn't have the experience to fix it, we will be hiring contractors in this town to do all
Yeah.
that work that our current street department does.
Yeah,
So if we are not getting guys with the knowledge to pass down that knowledge and keep that
There.
knowledge, then it will cost this town more money in the future.
they're
That's the
fixing water
problem.
leaks, they fixed the toughest water leaks that we've ever had to fix since in the last 2 months,
Okay.
yeah.
I feel that we're doing pretty good. I mean, I thought we're all working well together, and since I've taken over, I have learned a lot. And it was definitely big, but I took on the challenge, and we don't have to.
I'm not attacking you, bud, not at all. Yep.
You know, I'm doing my job, and I got Roger who just helped me out. We pretty well got everything lined out the way, you know, taking notes on things, and I think it's gonna be just fine. I mean,
Okay.
I hope the council doesn't have faith in me that I can't do my job. It's just, you gotta give me some time. You know.
Understood.
Is that what you had, Josh?
Yes, sir.
Justin?
Put another reminder out on the internet about the hydrant flushing on the,
Okay.
was it the 14th? So, and I noticed it was on the, city bill too, so should be good there.
It'll also be on the radio starting that Friday before.
Cool. The stop sign on Orchard and Seventh,
Did we vote on that?
We voted to do it, but we didn't really get an ordinance written up.
I was gonna say, did we actually vote on it?
Go through the procedures of getting the ordinance.
Did we vote
I
on
wasn't
that?
at that meeting, so
Okay.
I'd have to go back through the minutes. Sorry,
That was
I
Rhonda's
was,
meeting?
that was Rhonda's meeting, yeah.
Oh, that was one that Olivia Osmond asked for, what?
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, we agreed to put one up there.
On the August 1st.
I-
mean,
I thought we did.
I don't think we actually
Voted.
voted on it.
Well, let's take a vote on it then. That's
I
why
went
Margaret
by-
was here.
I make a motion, we put a stop sign.
I second it.
Okay, Josh?
Yes.
Justin?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes.
Bob?
Good.
Motion passes 5-0.
Stop sign at what?
Orchard Avenue and Seventh Street.
Is that the one that tees
Yes,
the short road?
yeah.
Where do you want it? You just want it on North South Road, or you want freeway?
Northeast corner of Seventh Street.
It'll be on Seventh Street, not Orchard
So
Avenue. but
just the one that tees
On
into
Seventh Street,
Okay.
yes.
So,
That ought to be okay, and Margot.
did the ordinance get wrote up, or do we have to wait on the ordinance?
No, he's writing the ordinance.
I got all the stuff to do it, so when somebody gives me a green
Okay.
light before I sign it, locates are all done.
Okay.
Gotta advertise it first.
I'll write the ordinance first.
Hey, Tyler, there's a lawn irrigation system there in that yard, so you might check with the new homeowner probably has no clue unless they got the map.
Trying to catch somebody up there wrong.
Yeah, it goes along that curve there.
How close? Did you put it in?
Yeah. I'm not sure how close, wherever they're gonna have it. It'll just be probably pipe over to it from the main going through there. The main won't be right on the curb.
Do you have anything else, Justin?
That's it.
Joe?
We wanna get the mower next year,
You what?
the new mower for
Yes.
the park.
Yes,
And, the flowers are planted at the park.
yes.
See, man, that's all I got.
Okay. Patty?
First,
You know,
that.
I don't,
My mom said he came knocked on her door, showed her identification, told her everything he was getting ready to do.
there was a couple of people,
And
did he have
she-
a wand?
Yeah, I don't
And he
know,
was
she
checking
just
for
said he
gas leaks?
had ID, knocked on the door, said, here's what I'm getting ready to do.
And then my next is back to election, the election stuff, and did you guys get a chance to look at what I passed out last time?
You did.
Do you have any questions, is there any discussion?
I don't have it.
I don't think that, doing 3 councilmen at large, that those districts that they're over now have specific representation. That's the bad part about it.
Well,
You see what I'm getting at?
yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. The way our districts sit right now, it's 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it's the old precinct lines that the county had. But then the county went to just 2 and 3. So the town's basically split right in half, and you've got Troy 2 to the west and around, on the south side of Liberty Street. All that is Troy 2, and then everything else is Troy 3. And so, if you go with 2 seated positions, District 2, District 3.
Are they telling us we have to do that?
No,
2-seated positions?
no, it just makes it really confusing, and it's gonna be more so now, because now there is a Troy 4 been added back, but it is not in the city limits, it's outside
Yeah.
town. So, it would just be more in line with what, with the precinct lines and having 3 at large, rather than 1. But no, that's
Okay.
not required, none of this is required, and then, like I said, moving the election to the general election years would save thousands of dollars on elections that, our last 2 elections, there's been 1 race, and it's a lot of money, and it's getting worse, it's like everything else, it's just going up, and so, you're looking between $6,000 and $8,000 for an election that we pay, that doesn't include like what Attica would pay, what Petersburg would
Right.
pay.
Right.
And so, that would just save us money, because then we wouldn't pay anything if we moved it to the even years.
Patty, where is Troy 4 now?
Troy 4 is, it's like Bob is in Troy, would be the old Troy 4. You're talking about the new one?
Yeah, I knew the old, based in, I
But
just
you're
wanna
talking
say.
about the new one that they just added back?
Yes, where is it?
It's out north of town, and it's everything on the west side of Portland Arch Road.
Okay,
It's because of the congressional districts that changed, the state, changed the congressional districts. And so that portion is like in a different congressional district than everybody else.
I wanted to thank you too, you did an excellent job with your proposal and what you presented to us, giving us time to look it over and review.
And it's not even anything that has to be voted on right now, it's just that if we choose to do this, the ordinance has to be passed by December 31st. So, because next year, it won't affect our elections next year, everybody will run next year, but then that's when we would decide, we would have to have it decided, if we're gonna stagger who would be on what election, because you're either gonna run for a 1-year or a 3-year term next year, if we choose to change it.
Okay.
So you'd be doing away with 4-year terms?
No, just next year's election, you would either run for 1 year and run again, and then you would start your 4-year term.
I see.
Or you would run for a 3-year term, run again in 2024 for a 4-year term. So, it's just getting it changed over. And right now, Hillsborough is the only other, town that's done it. They really like it. It brought out more voters voting for the the people running in Hillsborough,
Yeah.
because it's like by the time you get through, well, in this case, it's an off year, you know, it's the midterm election. Next year is our election, and people are like, oh, okay, I'm not, you know, I'm tired of seeing political stuff. And so they don't come out and vote for your city and town, especially if there's one race, you know, on the ticket.
Yeah.
You know, so, it saves money, it's just, you know, financially more responsible, but it's not required, so.
Okay. We'll discuss that. Yeah. Thank you.
That's all I have, Brett.
Thank you. Bob?
Grass at the jail, who mows it?
Well,
Oh, me.
I thought the county I thought the county would till they get us a deed.
I don't know.
They should,
Yeah,
but-
I just drove by there the other day, and it's,
Tyler, you're probably gonna have the guys mow it.
Well, I've got guys that'll do it, cause, couple of them are, you know, doing it for their community service time.
Yeah,
So I just have those,
yeah.
you know, I know a couple felons.
Yeah, you used to
That,
have
you
to.
know, yeah, I mean, they help me
You can't,
mow and stuff.
well, you can't always depend on them to show up.
Well, they got to get there sooner or later, I have to drive them, but,
We'll
you
get it
know.
taken care of this week.
Okay, thanks.
Crossroads, we're expecting to get something done this year.
Community crossings?
Community crossing,
Oh,
blacktopping.
yeah, I mean, we're waiting, oh, you didn't hear what I told Josh?
I know.
Okay, we submitted it the first week of August. And it was due by August 31st. And we're waiting on NDOT now to give us a determination how much money we'll get,
Okay.
and then we can
Resubmit bids.
yes, we'll
Well,
advertise.
When we do that, the fellow was in here about the end of Fifth Street. We're gonna take care of that ourselves.
I have Matt Hessler giving us a bid on that.
And what was the other
And
one?
Fourth and Railroad, it fell apart there.
Okay, so
Well,
Matt's gonna look at those.
Yes,
And that'll
he's
come-
already looked at it.
Yeah, that'll come out of our
Yeah.
pocket. That
Yeah.
won't be included in the.
Yeah. No, he would be doing that,
Okay.
we would be doing that,
Right.
we have the money for it.
Grover, I talked to him, he's gonna sell a house.
When?
Well, he has to put it up according to the mediation thing,
October 1st.
whatever the date is on that, that's when he's gotta put it up for sale.
Yeah, but he's still working on it, so that means you guys would still have to have the inspector come in the middle of September, if you wanna follow your guys' guideline.
After he said he wasn't gonna do anything.
He's
else.
still working,
He's still working on it?
still working on it.
Every day.
I've been up by there about every evening and I can't catch
Now
it.
you gotta come.
Well,
up.
he gets
no,
dropped,
no.
well, and he gets dropped off, and then he pulls the garage door shut after she drops him off.
Okay.
So you're never gonna know
I
he's
don't
there,
see
if
it,
you
I
don't
was
come
gonna
in.
say, I don't see his vehicle.
Yeah, no, he learned
He
not to
parks
do
the
that.
Hummer in the back, and on the side.
Unless Laura drops him
The
off.
windows are open, he's there.
Is he?
He was there until 8 o'clock last night, 7 o'clock last night.
Well, when he gets ready to put it up for sale, I mean, whoever's gonna buy it or whatever, they're gonna have a home inspection on it anyway, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? They're gonna have a home.
But isn't he
inspection.
required to have another inspection in September, according to that paper?
That was based on
Taylor,
the interior work.
let Taylor answer that one, it was gonna be the interior.
Yes.
Interior.
We're not gonna pay another $500
No.
for the thing.
That's what he's working on now, is the
Yeah.
interior.
Huh?
He's working on the interior.
I'm not-
But he has to get the exterior and the structure fixed
Yeah,
first,
he's
before he
not
can start on the interior.
Yeah. he's
Well, he worked
already-
on the outside foundation the other day.
He puts
Then he
it
worked
on.
on the deck, and then he worked back inside.
They pulled the deck
I don't
off,
think he
the
knows.
new deck on.
No,
the-
it's still there.
That's still
But if he
me.
hasn't corrected anything that they found originally,
Yeah.
then why are we allowing him to continue doing what he's doing? Because it has to be fixed correctly,
I
correct?
can't tell him he can't do it. He's not even, what he's doing now is wasting his time.
I told him when I talked to him, I said I wouldn't drive another nail or put another screw in that place.
And he quit for about a week, Bob.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to put it up for sale according to the mediation agreement.
Whoever buys it is gonna have to, they're gonna have to take the roof off and the rafters.
Yeah, no, but if he hides it well enough cosmetically.
No, he can't hide it well enough, Marty, because whoever's gonna buy it, they've gotta see that report, and they've gotta know that deck's gotta come off.
Who's gonna make them see the report, Brad?
But if it's bought as is, you.
Right, that's what I was
If it's
thinking.
bought
If it's
as
paid for
is,
as cash.
who's gonna
don't
say,
have to have
you need to
inspection.
see this
Yeah.
report? There's nobody up there on that committee that can make him show that report. If I wouldn't come in and buy it as is for cash, there's not a damn thing anybody, excuse me, there's not a thing anybody can do
Yeah,
up there.
yeah.
You
Like,
can't
are you
tell-
gonna go
can't
every
tell
time he
them-
shows the
you
house
can't
and
tell
give
them.
them the papers and tell them they have
I
to
tell you
read it?
what, there's a neighbor next door,
You'll
right
have to
next
do
door to the
that
place,
in
and
the
to show anybody that comes look at it, the report.
Right,
if
I think
can-
that they're.
Shut up. If there's anybody, that's my daughter, I can tell her. If there's anybody that comes and looks at it, if I can get a copy of the report, I'll be sure they see it.
Yeah.
I've done it to everybody else that's come to rent the place, I showed them the condemnation notice and
Yeah.
everything, and I'd be happy to sell it to anybody that wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
Show it to anybody that wanted to buy it.
I just don't think that, you know.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
If anybody does their
If it
due
goes to a
diligence at
realtor,
all.
if it goes to a realtor, you gotta have a home inspection. But if you get somebody from Danville comes over, that's got $50,000 cash and walks in and hands it to him, there's nothing that any of us in here can do about it. And then you just have to go after them people. And then they have another 90 days, and then another 90 days.
No.
Yeah, I
No.
know, Brad, it's been
The next
5
people
years.
aren't. So. What are you saying?
I'm just saying, if I can get a copy of the report, if I see anybody looking at it, I've seen people slow down, this car stopped the other day and said, oh man, it's looking
We
good.
can't do anything about that.
I know it, but I can show them the paper, if I
Yeah,
can get a copy.
exactly.
You gotta get me a copy.
Marty, you have a copy?
I got a copy.
But can he get a copy from you is what he
Yeah,
asked?
sure you can.
I mean, I'll show it to anybody.
Yeah, you're interested in buying it probably.
To me,
Here.
There's a copy.
thank you.
You're welcome.
You're not gonna put me in jail.
So what if he moves in it? If he doesn't sell it?
He can't move in it, Marty. He cannot move
Isn't that what
in
his
it.
wife's thinking is though, that she's moving in there?
You got his wife thinking that, I know.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell her different, Bob?
Huh?
Didn't you tell her he had to sell it?
I told her right there, I had that mediation paper right there in the front seat of the car.
Yeah.
I said, we're gonna hold you to the mediation dates
Yeah.
and so forth on
Yeah.
that.
So,
And that's what's gonna
I
happen.
just have a question, so how do you prevent him then from moving in? Like, are you sending the police if we see him? Because you're saying like, there's other things we're asking about that you're saying you can't do anything about?
He has to have it for
So
sale.
I'm asking, if we see him move in come October first, when he's supposed to have it up for sale, then what are your steps? Like, what do you do then?
Well, I'd probably have to take him to court.
So then does that
I mean,
start like
yeah,
we?
because he did.
No,
I
we
know
still
that
we still have a suit against him.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
If he moves in, even though you say he can't, like I hear you saying he can't, but if he does,
Taylor,
then
answer.
what do you do?
Can you answer that question?
He could do whatever he wants. The only thing he's gotta do is list it for sale October first, and if it's not sold by January first, the city has the option to force him to sell it. I think it was 75% of the appraised value. So if it's not sold by, he can live there from October first, January first, as long as it's
Okay.
listed, he's not violating anything.
Okay.
But January
can't
first,
grant
it's
it.
still not sold, then the city.
But so he can list it for sale and rent it out on the side, or no?
No, he cannot rent it out.
I mean, if it's not habitable, he can't rent it out, but. if so-
But he
if
did
somebody-
before.
Yeah,
That's
he-
where all these questions
He
come
can't
from.
rent it out, Taylor.
There's no way anybody can run it.
Well, by the looks of it, it's not gonna be ready by October first. There's no way.
You gotta list it by that, if it's not sold by the first for whatever reason, the city can get it appraised, jump in and say, we'll pay you 75% of what it appraised for. And if he,
So basically, you can
we
do,
have, the city has the option, they can go to the judge and say, hey, you need to enforce this
I
agreement.
mean, basically, he can do anything he wants to right now. I mean, mean,
Or we go to the judge and force her to do it. We've had mediation, we've done it all.
I mean, I'm not bashing you guys. I'm
No, I
just
know.
saying, you know, that if somebody comes in.
It's
we
real
keep
hard
saying
to
that
do
he can't
something.
sell it without this,
Yeah.
you know, but there's, if somebody buys it for cash, this don't mean nothing.
That's still an open case, isn't it?
I don't got it under control.
Yeah. It's an open case.
My question was, if we send the appraisal guy back in there, okay, and he sees that the work hasn't been done, he's been over 30 days, nothing's been done to do the
Yeah.
repairs. But then couldn't we go to the judge and say, hey, he's not even attempting to do this anymore?
He's a fault room.
I
I mean, he had agreements that this is supposed to be done, and it's not been done, met, so doesn't that follow under the same lawsuit?
Yeah, I mean, you could ask for contempt or some rule to show cause to say, hey, he's, you know, he had these deadlines, he didn't meet them. I mean, realistically, she'll give him most likely potentially financial sanctions. But I mean, the most economical thing is just to wait till that January 1st deadline and buy it if it's not sold. Because realistically, if we file contempt, say it doesn't pass that September 15th, or he hasn't listed it by October 1st, you know, file contempt, it's 15, 30 days before you get to court. She says, hey, you got 30 days to start complying with this. Then you're in mid-November maybe, and at that point, you know, if he does it by mid-December after that 30 days, then she says, hey, we're gonna hit you with maybe some sanctions, you know, hey, you owe the city $500 and whatever fees or something, and then we're right there at that January 1 line anyway.
Okay, so if going back, say Josh wants to go buy that house, Josh buys that house, what does Josh have to do? Bring it up to an inspection report that we had before he can do anything with it, or is he gonna be forced to tear it down?
I don't think that agreement runs with the land, I think that just attached to him, and it doesn't necessarily assign to whoever buys it.
So they can just buy it for cash and move in,
Theoretically, I mean,
and nothing that can be done.
I'd have to look and think more about that, but potentially.
That's where he was going with it.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'd have to think and look more into that before.
And then we'd have to start the whole process over again.
With the new laws.
I don't think
We don't wanna do
anybody's
that.
right.
We're better
But
off just doing it.
we have ordinance in place now that
Yeah,
prevent?
if somebody buys that, doesn't our ordinance that we passed, then does that not kick in?
Yeah, they're subject, they would be subject.
They would be subject to that,
I
so
mean,
then
we
we would
wouldn't
have
have
power
to
to
be
get
doing
around
all
it.
this again.
No.
We would just follow our local ordinance.
Right. Yeah. We wouldn't have to start over.
Who's gonna bring it in?
Well, what Luke is saying, the people that would buy it wouldn't have any idea about the mediation agreement. You know,
Unless I catch him looking at it.
unless you would catch him looking at it, because not saying that he would or he would not show them that mediation agreement.
I would.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that.
No, if they get the wrong home inspector, he may not be as thorough as the inspector was.
Right.
True.
The guy I had didn't even know I had a basement, so that kinda threw me for a loop.
Well, we wanna make this guy our official home inspector, cause he's really good. Yeah. Bob, do you have anything else?
No, I didn't.
Okay, is anybody here to remonstrate on the 2023 budget?
To what?
This is our budget hearing. Meeting's adjourned.